The World Health Organization, WHO, has partnered with the European Investment Bank, EIB, to address the COVID-19 pandemic and strengthen countries' ability to provide health services to their people. At a briefing over the weekend, WHO Director Gabriel Tedros said the new cooperation will enable it combat malaria, address antibacterial resistance, and enhance public health in Africa.
The COVID-19 crisis has illustrated that even the most sophisticated health systems have struggled to cope with the pandemic. WHO has grave concerns about the potential impact the virus could have as it starts to accelerate in countries with weaker health systems. With the EIB, we will therefore work urgently to invest in health infrastructure and health workers in 10 countries in Africa and the Middle East to start with. Fourth, EIB and WHO are exploring how the European Investment Bank could support the COVID-19 supply chain system to facilitate the distribution of diagnostics, personal protective equipment, and other medical supplies to countries that need them most. And fifth, we will work together to study market failures in other areas of public health to examine how innovative financing could help overcome investment barriers and increase access to life-saving products and services.
The health body also asked countries and groups to support it as it addressed the pandemic in war-torn countries to mitigate the effect on the vulnerable.
I just want to highlight one particular situation that we've become increasingly concerned with, and that is the rising number of cases in countries affected by fragility, conflict, and with high numbers of vulnerable populations, refugees or displaced populations. Over the last week, a number of weeks, we've seen worrying increases of disease in Haiti, in Somalia, in Sudan, in South Sudan, in Yemen, in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Sierra Leone, in the Central African Republic, and most recently investigating a serious cluster of respiratory disease in adults in Kano, in northern Nigeria. We remain deeply concerned about the impact that this disease will have in communities who are already greatly underserved, have many underlying conditions, and it's a real concern for the humanitarian community. And I know Mark Lowcock, the Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and the Director General, launched a humanitarian appeal a number of weeks ago now. But there's still a lot of work to do in countries. We need to get sustainable access to all populations in all countries, and we need to be able to deliver essential health services as well as COVID response. I think it's truly important that this happens, because these populations have already suffered too much. And the extra impact of COVID-19 at this point can be avoided if we rush to provide the extra support that's needed for these people who live on all sides of conflict.